you, but when I hear the words leather and sex in the same sentence, I automatically picture a 1970s leather daddy from a gay bar in Brooklyn, New York. Now compare that image to a catalog of nuances and types of BDSM of today, and you will see a world greatly improved. I'll give you a quick beginner's guide to submissive, slaves, pets, and littles on today's Torrid Intentions. Even the most novice person has heard of a master and slave relationship, but that's just one of the many. There's dom and sub, big and little, and the growing popular owner and pet. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Torrid Intentions. I'm your host, Austin Fox. As I begin to explain to you the meanings of each relationship, you will see a short similarity between a traditional relationship and a BDSM relationship, complete with contracts and a collar ceremony that much resembles a wedding. Usually when a couple is just starting out and getting their feet wet, the first thing most people try is master and slave. In this classic relationship, the slave relinquishes total control to their master, and once rules are established and put on paper, a contract is drawn and signed. But both parties have to agree to them before anything is signed. And before the ink has even had a chance to dry, the slave is no longer seen or thought of as a person, instead, a piece of property. The master is aware of the big responsibility he's about to take on because he is not only in charge of the sexual side of this roleplay, but in the slave's day-to-day side as well. Now, if this roleplay is just part-time or just for the bedroom, a good idea would be to get the slave a collar, so that way it would symbolize when the scene has started and playtime has come to an end. The 24/7 relationship should not be overlooked. At the same time, it should not be taken lightly because it is exactly what it says it is, 24/7. Much like the master-slave, the dom and sub are part of each other's life every day because of the commitment the sub made to their dom. It is no easy task for the sub to remain in that headspace for that length of time if the dom is not there to commit. This relationship will only work if both parties are in agreement up front to the daunting 24 hours a day, 7 fucking days a week schedule. Now, for something a little bit more advanced, the big-little relationship. Big meaning the parent, little meaning the ABDL, or they are commonly known as the adult baby diaper lovers. The dom role will assume the character of mommy or daddy, and the sub plays the baby boy or baby girl, complete with timeouts, potty training, diaper changing, bottle feeding or breastfeeding for the mommies, and nap time. The very nauseating sounds of gaga goo goo are too much for me to handle without throwing up. And no, I'm not knocking this group. Me personally, I have never spoken to a real baby in baby talk, so I'll be damned if I'm going to speak to a grown man in baby talk. But here's where I contradict myself. As hard as it is to wrap my brain around the ABDLs, I personally do not see anything wrong with the owner-pet relationship. Okay, so I may be a little bit biased on this one because the person I am dating right now and have been dating for the past 5 years is not only my fiance, but my 5'7", 20-year-old pet fox. Now, unlike the master-slave dynamic, the owner-pet one does require a collar that gives your pet the sense of acceptance and security. The pet is usually very intelligent and at least 2 steps ahead of its master, but that's just to keep them on their toes. And the reason why they are 2 steps ahead is usually one of 2 things. They're doing something good for the master in which they require praise or attention, or they are hiding something that they know to be bad and wrong. Depending on the severity and frequency of the defiance, that will depend on the severity of the punishment and promptness of the training. Now, the one thing that my Sasha complains about is my neglect for pet care after the scene. I will admit that I tend to be a tiny bit forgetful when it comes to that. But in my defense, the communication that I've been talking about for the previous weeks is lacking on her part. And when asked if everything is okay, I am met with a yes. It is not until I speak with a random stranger that she has already spoken to about my faults. I won't dwell on my personal life because my reporting will be tainted and biased. But don't be surprised if this roleplay doesn't do a number on your mind, because over the last 4 to 5 years, Sasha has started to not only adapt the characteristics of a fox, but gradually starting to resemble one too. Now, I need to acknowledge the kinkyfactory.com. If you're wanting to read more on this or other topics, click on the kinkyfactory.com for your BDSM question. And don't forget to find and follow me on Twitter at TowardIntention or my website, towardintentions.com. And feel free to email me your comments and questions at towardintentions@gmail.com. This is Austin Fox saying, whatever your intention, just make sure they're toward intentions. So long, everybody.